All right, what's up, y'all? So it's been a few days since I made a video. I've been moving around really quick. But the biggest thing, I was at TNA Slammiversary, man. It was the first TNA show I ever been to. I got to see Jeff Hardy for the first time live. I got to see AJ Styles come out with the old theme song. You know, if you don't know me, I am a huge TNA guy. You know what I'm saying? On some days, I might be more of a TNA guy than I am a WWE guy. But, this was just nostalgia combined with excitement, combined with a whole bunch of different great feelings. Thank you for TNA for allowing myself and my girlfriend to go on behalf of our podcast. And it was just an amazing experience that I'll never forget. Now, creatively, this show was up and down for me. I think there were some decisions like JC Jane beating Masha Slamovich. I don't agree with that. I feel like this show was a lot more oriented towards WWE than it was TNA. You feel me? I do feel like this show didn't do a very good job of showing the partnership. It showed like, okay, this is WWE. I didn't feel like a lot of times during the show, I didn't feel like I was watching a TNA show. And if this is such a record-breaking, historically crazy, show for TNA should be going over at least in the main event, at least. You understand? But all the matches were cool, except for like one or two, maybe. None of the matches went too long. They had a fourth rope thing with Zilla, Enzo, and the other dude, I forget his name, something Bishop, I think his name was. That was like really short. And I think it was on the kickoff. It wasn't really nothing. But my anger comes from, and it's not even really anger, it's more so like frustration. The main event, Trick Williams defending the TNA World Championship against Mike Santana and Joe Hendry. Now, Joe Hendry, he's cool with me, he was super hot when he first started to get his momentum, but TNA waited too long and now he's starting to subside. You know what I'm saying? He's not bad. I don't hate him. I just feel like this ain't his time right now. They kind of missed the train with him. You feel me? Trick, I understand the whole Trick and A thing. I'm not really super mad at him, My thing is, this is my first time seeing Mike Santana. And obviously we were in New York, and that crowd was literally begging for Mike Santana to win that championship. And I learned a lot about Mike Santana because this is my first time seeing him. So I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know that he was from New York. That crowd wanted him to win so bad. And it only took about 3 minutes after his entrance came on. I was like, all right, well, I guess we're putting the belt on Mike Santana tonight. It was just an alley-oop to put the belt on Mike Santana. And they had Trick retain after doing like a fake injury kind of thing. And I'm sitting there after the bell rung, and I'm like, why would you do that? Like, maybe they're waiting for Bound for Glory in Massachusetts to give Mike Santana the belt. But I'm like, bro, it was the hometown. It was right there. It was literally right there. The pop Mike Santana would have got if he won. And then they had him cut a speech after the show was over. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why would you do something like that? We had such a great night. AJ Styles, Team 3D, however you may feel about, that match. Team 3D challenging the Hardys for like one more match, A lot of cool stuff happened on this TNA show. And then for it to end in such a way that it wasn't like a bad ending like we've seen some WWE and AEW shows, and I don't think it was bad. I think it was stupid. You know what I'm saying? I think it was tone deaf. I don't think you hear the crowd, how they responded to Mike Santana and how you build him up just to have him lose the match. Now, it's very obvious they're probably going to have Mike versus Trick one-on-one, and then they're going to put the belt on them. But I'm like, at this point, bro, you should have just did it there. If anything, if you didn't want Mike to pin Trick, you could have just had Mike pin Joe. And then Trick would have had a reason to challenge him again at Bound for Glory. Then you could do the one-on-one match. And then Mike can retain, and now he's TNA World Champion. But having Trick retain just so you can move on with Trick, I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you hear that crowd last night and you just say, you know what? Well, not last night. At that time of recording, this is 2 nights ago. But I don't know how you hear that Slammiversary crowd and you're like, you know what? No, not tonight. I don't get it. So again, I'm not super mad that Trick lost or Trick won. I like Trick. Trick's cool. Kind of, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, Mike should have won that, and that is one of the huge reasons why this show kind of felt like WWE featuring TNA. It didn't feel like TNA featuring WWE, and I think that's what it should have been. It should have been TNA and the boys, not WWE and the boys. TNA is supposed to be taking the main stage because this is their show with their champions in a historical night for TNA, their biggest crowd in like 13 years or something like that. And you have it end with a WWE superstar not only winning the women's championship, but winning the world championship for the men as well. I don't understand. I just don't understand. If someone, thing is, I don't need someone to explain it to me because I know what they're trying to do. We just shouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should not be in a situation where we're doing this match at Bound for Glory when you had it right there in front of you and you just dropped the ball for some odd reason. So, I really don't have much to say more about it. It's just, I don't know how you do something like that. I know what the end game probably is going to be. I know where the story is probably leading. That's all fine and dandy. But to me, you don't have that hot Mike Santana heavy crowd and don't put the belt on him. It seems like a missed opportunity, and it's really unfortunate that they went this direction when everyone in that arena, for the most part, was begging for Mike Santana to win. But y'all let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about Slammiversary. You know what I'm saying? I saw some people being overly negative about it. I mean, I do think TNA is going to need a lot more in the future. I do have a slight feeling that they're going to get bought by the WWE, maybe by Bound for Glory. What that means for TNA, don't know. But that's going to be something to look into. But I think TNA is going to be on the uprise very soon. Now, what that uprise really entails, only time will tell. But I think the future is going to be kind of TNA, and it just depends on who's in charge. And I don't think we'll ever get that like prime TNA feeling back, unfortunately. We'll never get that back, but maybe this new era of TNA will be the best for it. Am I confident in it? I'm 50-50 right now because I don't really trust the direction of the WWE, so why would I trust them to direct TNA? You feel me? That's a totally different company, But I'm just hoping and praying that it's positive for TNA, and it's not just Roman Reigns coming up there and beating all the TNA guys and all this other stuff. You have people like Leon Slater, who is literally the future, not only of the X Division, but of professional wrestling, defeating Moose. That was just a great moment, and getting the endorsement from one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, the phenomenal AJ Styles, in his TNA form. Mr. TNA himself. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of good in TNA, but there's also a lot of fluff that they need to get rid of before this show can really, this entire company can really take itself to the next level where they should have been years ago before Hulk Hogan came in there and ruined everything. So y'all let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments down below. If you like the video, subscribe if you're new, subscribe if you have not already. Comment down below, kind of video we do next. Stay safe, I love you guys. Praise God, and I will see you in the next video, man.